Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Batholkas, and it's time for Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Before I get started, let me take care of some business first and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. Let's get started, shall we? So, yes, happy Batman Day to everyone. And for those of you in the United States, you fat asses like me, happy National Cheeseburger Day too. So it's actually both Batman Day and Cheeseburger Day. So get yourself a Batman cheeseburger someplace, wherever they make them. I don't know. Yeah. So what is Batman Day? It's a marketing ploy by DC, basically to celebrate Batman and blah 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 blah, sell more comic books and yeah, all that kind of stuff. Just basically to put more money into Warner Brother executive pockets so they can blow it on coke and blow it up their ass. So that's pretty much all it's there for. Yeah, I don't know. DC pumps out a whole bunch of Batman lore on this day. And one of the things they actually pumped out on HBO Max, I guess there was a Batman audio series that was out, and now it's available on HBO Max. So you can actually go and listen to that there. I don't know. I might put it on at some point in time just to have background noise or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent of it. There's not really much to Batman Day other than what's been manufactured out there. So yeah, not too much. But you know what else, considering we're talking about HBO Max here too. So HBO Max is no longer going to be part of the Amazon subscription service. So if you had ordered HBO Max through Amazon Prime, and we're getting your subscription through that, Amazon Prime is no longer doing that anymore. They've cut their deal with HBO Max. So all of you who had subscriptions through Amazon Prime, those were canceled as of yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But HBO Max is on pretty much everything else. You can get the app on, on any Amazon or Apple, whatever device you're using. You can still get that HBO Max app. And they've also cut their price, their monthly price, HBO Max. So they don't want to lose subscribers. They cut it to $7.49 a month from $14.99 a month. So yeah, I'm and the thing is, it's for new subscribers and old subscribers. So we're all getting the $7.99 or $7.49 rate for the next 6 months, and I'm happy about that because actually HBO Max is decent. It's got some good stuff on there. It's got the fucking Venture Brothers, man. It's got all 7 seasons of the Venture Brothers on there. It's got Adult Swim stuff on there, even though Adult Swim stuff is supposedly free. But it's bullshit because you try and go on the Adult Swim app, and of course the app asks you for a service provider, and yeah, $7.49 for 6 months, Marks, not $7.69. I know you always want to go to 69, but I'm sorry, I'm flattered, but no. Stanley says, "Hey Dennis, hey Penn, hey Marks, hey Stanley." Yeah, so actually decent deal. They are really worried about bleeding off subscribers because of that. So that's the reason why they're doing it. And with good reason, because I mean, those AT&T execs are looking for any excuse to cut out of that HBO Max deal that they had. They really got it in the shorts on that one. But they only have themselves to blame on that one. So there's a live action She-Ra series in early development over at Amazon. Yes, I said over at Amazon. I know that the She-Ra animated series is actually on Netflix, and Netflix is also doing the He-Man animated series, both of them. over at Netflix, but the live action She-Ra series has landed over at Amazon, which has really got to piss off the Netflix executives. It really does. But yeah, so they're in early development right now of a live action She-Ra series, and we'll see what happens with that. I mean, it could be interesting, it could not. Who knows? Yeah. Mork says HBO Max is decent. I only have it because of AT&T. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people have an AT&T. They overpay for that service, that mobile service, and so they get HBO Max as part of the compensation, I guess, for overpaying for AT&T services. Penn says I had a friend upset about Amazon dropping it, but they subscribed. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you're still paying the same subscription rate no matter what. It's just going through a different service. Stanley says, but HBO Max will split from AT&T as part of WB. I think that's the plan, Stanley, at some point in time. It's supposed to be part of Warner Media, I believe, is what's going on. So the Warner Media portion is going to split off from AT&T because AT&T sold that Warner Media to somebody else. I forget who at the moment. I want to say it's Verizon, but I doubt it. That's the case. I don't know. I forgot. I actually talked about this a long time ago in one of the Saturday morning blasts. I want to say at like the beginning of this year, and I can't remember what it is now. Discovery. Thank you, Stanley. It was Discovery. Yes, it was Discovery that they sold off to. Thank you. Well, Discovery Channel had their own. So Discovery had their own little stuff going on, and I guess they were able to scroll enough money. They had enough bake sales in order to buy Warner Media, and hopefully for the better. Mork says the She-Ra Netflix is garbage. I saw it twice with my daughter. The He-Man and Netflix is garbage. Saw it once. I want my time back. Live action She-Ra. I'm expecting the Dolph Lundgren He-Man. I don't know, man. It's Amazon. So Amazon, they're actually fairly decent. Amazon, Netflix, yes, you get like 80%, 90% shit, and you get like a small little gleaming nugget of gem hidden within that shit every now and then. So yeah. Penn says I'm not caring about She-Ra, but if you tell me it's worth my time, I'll watch it. I'll check it out. I mean, definitely. Ooh, sorry, I almost lost my cell phone there. My cell phone's sitting off on the side here, and I precariously had it at the edge of the table. Yeah, I'll give it a shot and see what it looks like. But you know what I am going to be watching now, because we just got a trailer for it on November 24th. Hawkeye makes its way to Disney Plus, and we got a new trailer for this one. I did like the trailer. I dug it. Someone was saying that Hawkeye was wearing his hearing aids, like in the there's a comic out there where it's a really good comic. It's actually a mini series comic with Hawkeye, and he had lost his hearing, and so he had hearing aids in, and that was part of the character arc that was going on in the comics. And I didn't see the hearing aids in this one. I looked specifically because I watched it a second time on the bigger screen, and I was like, I don't see the hearing aids. So I don't think that's part of this series. But Kate Bishop is actually part of this series, and it looks good. Actually, it looks like a lot of fun, and taking place during the holiday season, of course. And shit, during my birthday week, so I'm good with that. you know. Stanley said I wanted to go watch Dune in the theater, but at the moment the English screening seemed to be very crowded. Okay. Yeah. Um, I'm okay with it. It's coming out on HBO Max here when it comes out in the theater same day. So I'm okay with watching it at home. Honestly, I expect to be at home anyway because that's where it's very comfy. So when I fall asleep during, I mean, if I fall asleep during it, if we'll put that in quotation marks, I have a comfy place to nap when it happens. It's coming out in October, I want to say, is when Dune comes out. Oops. Dune release October 22nd. Yeah. So it'll come out on October 22nd, which is fine. I mean, quite honestly, I've heard it's a 50-50 split from what I've heard of people that have seen it already. Some people say it's the worst piece of shit ever made. And some people are going, "Oh my God, it's the best thing. I had orgasms from God and whatnot." And it's like, okay, whatever. A lot of people are saying that people that have read the book say it's just the prologue of the book and that's it. It's not even the first half of the book. It's just the prologue of the book, from what I understand. Stanley says, so I have to wait 45 days for the High Seas release. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, again, it's one of the directors that I'm really not fond of, Denis Villeneuve. And I know his stuff looks very, 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 very pretty, but it usually is empty, as devoid of any kind of substance whatsoever, and no character study, just horrible scripts. So, but very pretty. He's a great video director. So, no, Morks, you still need to polish that one up. Stanley said, I heard Dune suffers from Storius Interruptus. I heard it suffers from director's ineffectiveness. Yeah. So, anyway, on that note, something good that's coming out. October 22nd, which strangely enough is the same day that Dune comes out. The second season of Lock and Key hits Netflix. We just got a teaser trailer for it, and it looks interesting. I mean, if you haven't seen the first season of Lock and Key, go and watch it. It's a great graphic novel that's been turned into a really great series as well. I didn't Is It Worth My Time about this. So if you go back and check on my archives of stuff, it's in there in the Is It Worth My Time series. I had to think about that for a second. It was a tongue twister there. So, hey, I'm allowed to make bad jokes more because it's my show. And I make bad jokes anyway. You know this. Yeah. But yeah, if you haven't seen Lock and Key, go and watch it before the second season comes up. And also, if you haven't watched Doom Patrol, what the fuck are you doing here? Go and watch seasons 1 and 2, which is on HBO Max right now, because season 3 is coming out on Thursday, and the first 3 episodes are dropping on Thursday, which is going to be a bitch for me because that means I have to actually I'm covering every episode by itself. I want to say I'm thinking I have to. At this point, we'll figure it out as we go along. Mork says, "Where is Lock and Key? I'm quarantined and need to watch." It's on Netflix. Netflix, Mork says. I said like a couple times. Netflix. Stanley says, "Lock and Key was quite good as an adaptation. Quite the contrast to Why the Last Man, which I found boring." Well, it's only got 3 episodes in, Stanley, until Why the Last Man. I liked it, except again, like I said, for the injection of current political crap going on. That's the one thing I didn't like. I was just like, yeah, but inevitably you do have to do that because that is part of what's happening. So, yeah. Anyway, for some reason, even though the movie hasn't come out yet, there's a spin-off series of Colin Farrell's Penguin from the upcoming Batman or the Batman movie, which is in the works at HBO Max. Now, mind you, this is the second spin-off from the Batman, and the movie hasn't even fucking come out yet. So we got the GCPD with Jeffrey Wright. Actually, Jeffrey Wright's not even going to be in it. He's going to guest star in this as Commissioner Gordon. He's going to come in every now and then and say, "Hey, remember me? I was in that movie that hasn't come out yet." And now they're going to do another spin-off of the Batman with Colin Farrell's the Penguin, or Colin Farrell's Penguin, however you want to call it. Oswald Cobblepot. There you go. And yeah, okay. Get me the movie first. If I can see what the movie looks like, and then I know what the pacing, the tone is like. I get HBO Max is doing this now with all their DC movies. They're trying to hedge their bets by shoring up. They're trying to do the Marvel thing, is what they're trying to do. So Marvel is doing Marvel TV along with their movies, and their movies are tying into their to their TV shows and vice versa. That's what HBO Max is trying to do now, and Warner Brothers is they want to tie their DC movies into their DC TV series or their HBO Max shows as well. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to ramp things up exponentially before Marvel's already beat them already, by the way. So Marvel is already way, way, way ahead of the game, and HBO Max is just catching up. So you had your chance, Warner Brothers, and you didn't want to put any money into it. And you also didn't care about your characters at all. You could have made literally billions of dollars off of Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman as long as you had people behind them that actually cared about your characters, that actually were fans of your characters and were willing to work within those characters' worlds that were already established, not create their own worlds. Anyway, I digress. Philip Ademic says, so Jim Gordon is going to be the watcher of the GCPD. He is. Yes, he's going to come in every now and then and say something in a very deep voice that sounds somewhat poetic and awe-inspiring, and then he's going to leave. Yeah. Mark says the new Batman movie, Batman glows at night. Yeah. That's your stream, Stanley. That could be a prostate problem there, Stanley, if your stream just stopped and then it comes back again. You might want to go get that checked. You need to go see a urologist about that. Stanley says, I'm still not sure how they fucked up a Wonder Woman 1984 so badly. 2 words, Patty Jenkins. There you go. I said this. Yes, I did. And there you go. Sorry, I have no hopes for Rogue Squadron at this point. I said early on when the first Wonder Woman came out, I go, that was a great Captain America story. Because that's really what it was. The first movie was Captain America, but cribbed and done in World War I. I was like, all right. I know I got a lot of shit for it because, yes, it's a female superhero movie. I like female superheroes, okay? I like the Black Widow movie. I wanted a better Black Widow movie than what we got because it's just, they need to put some more love into it a bit more. But man, I mean, I'm looking forward to the She-Hulk series. I'm praying that the She-Hulk series actually redeems female superhero characters done on the big screen or the small screen or however you want to say it. Because it needs to happen. It really does. Yeah. Get Gail Simone. Get Gail Simone to write this stuff. Gail Simone is an awesome writer. She writes comics. Yes, she writes comics well. Very, very well. She knows these things inside and out. She works for DC. You could have gotten her to write the Wonder Woman story easily. But no. That's just off the top of my head, by the way. Mark says, you aren't wrong, though. Soup's Bat and Wonder Woman done well would have been better than Marvel. Yeah, exactly. They would have been. But you stuck it in the Snyder Murderverse. I hate to be the broken record here, but no one wants to watch that bleak, color-leached bullshit of the Snyder Murderverse. Sorry, they really don't. It's joyless, is really what it is, and that's not what DC is. DC So Marvel was the one that was grounded in reality. Marvel comics have always been grounded in kind of a reality, if you will, than a grittier. And DC was more of the bright beacon of hope of superheroes. And they were always brighter than the Marvel comics. And that's what you need in the movies as well. Shazam is a perfect example of that. It was a brighter movie, a more lighter movie, even though it had some dark themes in it. There you go. Mork says, you don't think there's a good female superhero movie or a female superhero from Marvel DC? I liked Aeon Flux and Ultraviolet. Ultraviolet isn't a Marvel or DC character, though. Marks. And I'm talking about lead characters, lead female superhero characters. All we got was the first one was Black Widow from Marvel, and that took fucking, what was it, 15 years for them to do it? Even though everyone kept saying, do a Black Widow movie, like once you introduce Black Widow. And Ultraviolets, I mean, and Flux sucked. Let's just say, that sucked. And Ultraviolet was based off of actually the Equilibrium world. So Kurt Wimmer was the one who did that one. And I liked it for what it was. It was fun, but it was no superhero movie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to She-Hulk. Like, She-Hulk is one of my favorite Marvel characters. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I was hoping they were going to do New Warriors at one point on Freeform, of all places. And they had the Verizon girl. I can't remember her name now. She went to UC San Diego too. And I can't remember her name now. But she was actually supposed to play Squirrel Girl in the New Warriors. And they filmed it and everything, supposedly, and they shelved it. But I would like to have her come back and do Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl, by the way, if you've never read the series, the current series, if you read the beginning of it, I believe the first like 12 issues of it are gold. I mean, just absolute gold. It's great writing. It's good characterization. That's something that you can actually make into a fucking movie or a TV series or something like that and have a really strong female character. I'm also looking forward to Miss Marvel that's coming out. Not the Marvels, which is Captain Marvel and all of that, but the Miss Marvel series that's going to be coming out on Disney Plus. Also, I'm looking forward to Ironheart that's coming out. Believe it or not, I'm looking forward to that. That character is going to be introduced in Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Catwoman, no. That was not Catwoman. It really wasn't. Imbibed by the Quasar says, do you think the new Blade will be good? Yeah. I mean, look who they've got. Ali, who is is cast as Blade, is an awesome actor. And I have no qualms about that one whatsoever. Is he going to stick around until it goes into production? That's a good question. I mean, he is an Oscar winner. He is doing other stuff. He was actually one of the best Marvel villains, by the way, too, in Netflix when he played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage season 1, which they killed him halfway off, which was stupid because he was the best villain out there that they had. And yeah. But anyway, I digress. Speaking of comics, Netflix is ordering an 8-episode season of Matt Wagner's Grendel series, and they've cast Abu Bakr Ali to star as Grendel. So what is Grendel? Grendel is about an assassin who is killing off the criminal underworld until he decides that, why the fuck am I doing this when I can just take over the criminal underworld and do it better than they do? And that's what he does. Is he ends up taking over the criminal underworld and becoming the head of that criminal underworld. It's actually a really good series. So Matt Wagner, by the way, for those of you who don't know who he is in the comic world, Judge Dredd. The original Judge Dredd, Matt Wagner was involved in that. He also created this character Grendel, which is a great character. I read this character in the 80s. Yeah, I want to say it was like mid 80s, somewhere around there. And it was a great character. I'm looking forward to this. And also, by the way, by them being Netflix casting uh, Abu Bakr Ali, this is going to be the first Arabic superhero or villain, if you will, or yeah, superhero. Let's just say comic book character, lead comic character movie. So yeah, it's going to be the first Arabic lead for a comic book movie, which is fairly interesting, quite honestly. So, Morks, come on. Yeah. So Matt Wagner has done quite a bit in the comics. Go and take a look at 2000 AD. That's the name of the comic company that does Judge Dredd, and you'll see his name throughout most of their titles. Matt Wagner is there. He's also worked for DC Comics. He's worked for Marvel Comics. He's worked pretty much within the comic industry for the last couple of decades. So yeah. Philip A. Demick says, I would have liked to see the commercial girl play Squirrel Girl, but I know they would find a way to screw it up today. Yeah, they would. They would. Well, that was under Jeff Loeb, too. So, I mean, it was already pre-screwed as it was. And I'm glad it never saw the light of day because it would have fucked up the New Warriors. The New Warriors is its own brand of weirdness in the Marvel universe. And it actually leads to that's actually the New Warriors actually led to the Superhero Registration Act in the comics. And that would have been interesting if they had gone that route. Cause I mean, it's a really fucked up story. I wish they had done it that way, but I like the way they did it this way too. I mean, with the Sokovia Accords and all that kind of stuff, it still went through the whole Superhero Registration Act and we still got the Civil War and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Yeah. Stanley says, talking about live action remakes, any chance a live action, uh, any chance ATLA? I don't know what ATLA is. Sorry, Stanley. Thank you, Morks. You didn't need to do $1.69. Oh, what else do I have here? Oh yeah, Lost Boys is getting another planned reboot by Warner Brothers. Just fucking let it die. I mean, come on. I know Warner Brothers. Oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'll talk about that in just a second. So, just let the Lost Boys die. I mean, they tried bringing it back as a CW series with cast with all females, didn't work because they thought it was too campy or too shitty or whatever. And when the CW says no, we'll pass because your series is too shitty, you know your series is really, really fucking shitty. I'm not looking forward to yet another reboot of this thing. They tried doing this with Corey Haim and with the Coreys back in the early 2000s. I want to say they did a 2 and 3 that went direct to video or direct to DVD or whatever trash bin it went to. And god damn, that was fucking horrible. So yeah. So Avatar: The Last Bender, any chance a live action remake or live action will be any good? I don't know where it's at now. Tell you the truth, Stanley. I don't know if Netflix is doing it or if Amazon's doing it. So if it's at Amazon, it's got a chance in hell. If it's at Netflix, it's probably not going to be great. So yeah. Ooh, sorry, I got a little bit of buzz going through my headphones there all of a sudden. That was kind of an odd one. Just see what's going on there with the connection. Philip A. Demick says, I love James Marsters as a bad dad trope in the new war. That wasn't New Warriors, that was Runaways. is what that was. Runaways is a different thing altogether. And that's Marvel. Mutants, New Warriors were actually heroes that some of them are mutants, but some of them were not. Yes, in the comics. Penn says that movie with the two Coreys should have been so much better. Not really. They hired like a really bottom of the barrel director. I think they found him under an overpass in LA, living under an overpass in LA, selling crack, and said, "Hey, we'd like you to direct this." And he offered them some crack first, and the WB exec actually accepted, and then said, "Hey, since we're smoking this, do you want to direct this movie?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure. We can only pay you in cheeseburgers because that's all the movie is worth." Stanley says, and the Netflix Avatar The Last Airbender project seems still to be going. Not sure though. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where that one's at. I really don't. I hear nothing about that one whatsoever, which means it's probably dead in the water, which is good. It doesn't need to be made there, I should say. Neil Gaiman's Anansi Boys is coming to Amazon as a series. So for those of you who are fans of Neil Gaiman and he's writing, I am not one of them. There you go. It's coming to Amazon, did I say? Yes, Amazon as a series. So I know nothing about that project, quite honestly. I know of the book, and once I saw Neil Gaiman's name on it, I was like, okay, and I turned away from it. So, but I figured I'd let those of you out there who are fans of his let you know. Oh, the original creators. That's right. I remember now, Stanley. I remember now. The original, yes, the original creators of the animated series left the live action series. I remember that now. Yeah. Oh, Stanley says connected to the American God story. Wow, that's not going to be problematic whatsoever. Yeah, I'm okay with not seeing that ever. So, yeah. Speaking of stuff that the rest of the stuff that I've got going on here is, I'm just gonna say it's pretty shitty stuff. But I figured it's worth a laugh. Anthony Mackie is going to star as John Doe in the Twisted Metal TV series being produced by Sony Television. That's right. Twisted Metal, the video game, is getting a TV series through Sony Television. So there's no distributor as of yet. So there's no like Amazon, Netflix, or whatever picking this up. But Sony Studios is actually producing this. And Anthony Mackie is going to star in it as John Doe. DOE, by the way. Yeah. Yes, the ice cream truck. I'm okay with kind of skipping over that one too. I really am. Unless it's like really absurdly so bad that I have to go and watch it because it might be funny. That'd be the only time I actually am more, gonna go and see it. Penn says I liked American Gods, but I never got around to reading Anansi Boys. Okay. Are you talking about the book or are you talking about the series? I think you're talking about the book, right? Yeah. Imbibed by the Quasar says, "What Twisted Metal? That's cool. Are we going to see a bunch more video game movies series over the next decade? Probably. It depends on how things go. Imbibed. I'm just going to call you Imbibed. How about that? That's how these things usually go. If you have one that actually succeeds, like The Witcher, for example, then you're going to start having other video game movies, TV series get greenlit, as well as if they're well written. The more that fail, of course, the less that producers, studios, things like that are willing to gamble on them, quote unquote, gamble on them. But the more they succeed, then what they start looking for is what is like X that is actually successful that we can buy and we can pump out cheaply. so we can get more coke that we can blow up our asses. And that's pretty much what the whole model is. And yes, welcome Imbibed, by the way. Thank you for coming on by. Great question. And yes, who knows if we're going to see more of it. Again, it just depends on if they don't fuck these things up. And again, you have to get people that are fans of the stuff, but not so deep into fandom that they can't do something that's quality and express, so they don't alienate the fans of the original source material, but they also create something that is accessible to people who don't know what the fuck this thing is. And you got to remember, 90% of your population probably doesn't know what this is, and that's why you want to make it accessible to them, but also kind of usher them into that world. Hard to do. It really is. But the MCU kind of shows you, as long as you have one person who's a visionary and guiding you on this kind of stuff, you can actually have it done. Penn says the American Gods series started off pretty good. I like the cast. All right. Stanley says the only gaming related TV show in recent years that I liked was Castlevania. Witcher does not count. It is based on the books. Yeah, I know it's based on the books, but I cheated, and yeah, it's also got video games too. And yes, I'll give you that. Castlevania is probably the best video game related show that's out there that worked. And again, that was because of Warren Ellis. Warren Ellis is a great writer. Unfortunately, he's a horrible human being, and that's the reason why that series ended, is because of the shit that he was doing in his personal life that ended his professional career. Yeah. So, and I'm a fan of Warren Ellis. I'll tell you that right now. I'm a fan of his writing. His writing is awesome. It's just he's a horrible human being. The shit that I've been reading about, yeah, that I'm just like, okay, great. Allegedly, by the way, horrible human being. Just so I don't get a lawsuit thrown at me. Philip says, I still like all 3 seasons of American Gods. A lot of peeps checked out in the 2nd season, as did the showrunners. See what I did there? Here's some good news. The CW has canceled The Outpost after 4 seasons, with the finale to air in October. Now, again, like I said, do you know how bad your show has to be for the CW to cancel you? Yes, usually you get to go out on your own. You get finally like, you know what? I'm tired. I've done 20 seasons of this show of Supernatural. 20 seasons of this show, and we need to end it because CW is not going to cancel us. So that's how you usually go out on the CW, not the CW saying, you know what, your show's so shitty, not even us want to show it. So we want to cancel you. And yes, there you go. Sorry for those of you who actually like the Outpost. I don't mean to shit on your show, but that's usually what happens with the CW. If the CW denies you, that's usually the bottom of the barrel that you can go to. And well, actually, there are a few other places you can go, but you really don't want to talk about them. Yeah. November 5th, Tom Hanks stars in an Apple TV Plus movie of Chappie. It's called Finch. I think it's based off the movie Chappie. It's got the same whole premise of a guy walking through a post-apocalyptic wasteland with a robot named Finch and his dog. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's been comparing it to Chappie, which is the Neil Blomkamp movie. Great movie too. Well, good movie, I should say, not great movie. Good movie. Yeah. Stanley said I tried episode 1 of The Outpost, didn't finish it. There you go. And Stanley watches the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there you go. Sorry, Stanley. I just had to take that little dig. And the last thing I have for you, and this is a what the fuck, October 15th. I Know What You Did Last Summer, the series comes to Amazon Prime. Ah, and the poster for it has all these pretty young people that are, they have 6 heads on this poster with a black background, and they're all covered in, I think, honey. I want to say they've got honey splashed on their face, and I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? Because it looks like the cover of a porno. Only, well, okay, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Imbibe says demonic wasn't the worst. Um, you know what? I never saw demonic. Tell you the truth, imbibed. Yeah. Not the bees. Yeah, I can't wait for Nicolas Cage's new movie to come out, the one where he plays himself or a version of himself. I'm looking forward to that one because it's going to be really fucking horribly bad. We already know this. He even knows it. He even said it too. Philip says I stopped watching Outpost middle of last season, couldn't get into it this season. Okay. Isn't Pig? No, Pig is not the latest one. That was the one that just came out. He pumps out like a movie a month, somewhere around there. It's the unbearable lightness of being me, or something like that, I believe is what it is, or uh, something like that. Yes, Nicolas Cage Van Johnson. Thank you, Marks. That's exactly what it is. It is Nicolas. It's Nicolas Cage VD, somewhere around there. But yeah. Oh, Morks, Stanley has more than one skeleton in the closet, but yeah. Oh, the IRS has been leeching off of him for years, Stanley. Years, decades at this point. That's why he's making all these movies. I mean, he has it's up on Amazon Prime right now, Wally's Wonderland, and I've been tempted to rent it, but I'm waiting till it drops to like $2 before I actually rent it. Otherwise, I just can't, I couldn't live with myself. Yeah. Or I could just wait till it goes free, which I probably will. But the unbearable lightness of me, or something like that, I believe is what it's called. The one where he plays a version of himself. That one looks just so totally monumentally twisted that I might have to actually see that one for the $5 they're probably going to offer it at. Is that the weird one with the animatronic creatures? Yes. So he is a drifter who ends up at some roadside carnival or something like that, and in exchange for some money, he's going to clean up the old animatronic theme park, which I guess is haunted, or I don't know what it is, and he has to fight off the animatronic creatures. That's what the Wally's Wonderland thing is. I wish I could make this shit up, but I'm not. It's literally what the plot of this movie is. Yeah. I don't know, man. I really don't. I mean, like, Pig is a truffle hunter who's gets beaten up and his pig gets taken, and so he has to travel to the big city in, I believe it's in Portland. I want to say it's in Oregon, something like that, to find out who stole his pig. So it's basically John Wick with a pig. Man. And that's almost better than just watching the movie. It's just saying the synopsis of the movie or what the fuck it is. Yeah. Mark says, add some Schwarzenegger cheesy quotes when killing the carnival animatronics, and you have a great comedy. Yeah, I always think of The Simpsons when they go to Itchy and Scratchy Land. It's in like the first or second season. And when they find out that the camera flashes make the animatronic creatures die. And so Homer, like, hey mouse, hey cheese, and he hits the camera, and it flashes, and he goes, huh, with a dry wit like that, I could probably become an action hero. and you see Bart like literally like right behind him finishes the exact same line and says the exact same thing, and I was just it's one of the great Simpsons lines that I always think of whenever somebody does something like, says a really cheesy quote line, but somehow pulls it off, you know. Uh, in those moments in life where you have a cheesy quote line that actually works for whatever it is you're doing at that time. And that's what I always think of is that scene in The Simpsons and Itchy and Scratchy Land. Stanley says, I heard that the pig movie is John Wick without the violence. Wow. Well, they probably couldn't afford the violence. That's why. It was beyond the budget of the movie. Stanley says, I watched the review of the animatronic one on Red Letter Media. Seemed pretty bad. Are you cheating on me? You're going over to Red Letter Media? I'm kidding. No, I don't care. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I'm probably not going to for a while. I have to be in a particular mood to watch a Nicolas Cage movie, and that's usually I'm pretty drunk, which hasn't happened in a while. So yeah, that's the reason why I haven't watched a Nicolas Cage movie. I have to be pretty much out of my mind in order to watch one of those. That looks like a good idea. Yeah. So, what else I got going on the rest of this week? Well, funny you should ask. Tomorrow is going to be spoiler alert, where we get to talk about anything basically anything that's out there in the public right now that's been released to the general public. No sneak previews or anything like that. And you get to talk spoilers. So if you want to discuss spoiler stuff, that is the place to do it. Monday will be Why the Last Man, episode 4 of Why the Last Man, which is on FX on Hulu. There we go. FX on Hulu. Tuesday, I was going to do Is It Worth My Time, but I'm actually going to preempt it this week. Just this week only. I've got some stuff going on, so I'm going to take that day off. Wednesday will be What If. That's right. What If and Star Wars Visions, because fuck, they're putting them on the same day. So it'll be What If and Star Wars Visions on Wednesday. Thursday, oh my God, is going to be the first 3 episodes of Doom Patrol season 3. The first 3 episodes of Doom Patrol season 3. Friday, I'll be off and taking a much deserved rest. And then Saturday rolls right back around again to Saturday morning blast off, where we take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. So, yeah. Stanley says, not a Nick Cage fan, so my mood really would have to be really special. Oh, I hated 8mm as well, Stanley. 8mm is Snake Eyes is only lesser of a movie than 8mm for me. Snake Eyes is just a horrible fucking movie of Nick Cage that he's in, but yeah. And I think that's more or less because of Scorsese directing on that one than anything else. Speaking of which, Bringing Out the Dead is also a really shitty Nick Cage movie that Scorsese did. Brian De Palma, did Snake Eyes. That's right. Brian De Palma did Snake Eyes. That's what it was. I think he did 8mm as well. Yeah. Mark says, ready for spoiler alert. I've been getting ready by binging the hell out of Netflix. Interesting. We'll see what you got. Yeah, Mark says, dude, this week's going to be rough. Lots to see. Yes, this week is going to be rough. Because not only do I have all this stuff coming out that's, I want to be covering, but work's going to get really, really busy this week. So, yeah, it's going to be special. It's going to be a special kind of hell. We'll see how I hold up on that one. So, I'm going to let you guys go for the rest of the day. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you get that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media up there and all the links to my pages as well. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for spoiler alert. Remember, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I changed it out from 1 p.m. I just couldn't do the 1 p.m. anymore. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up having to work for a Warner Brothers executive for cheeseburgers because that's all they can afford. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Get those vaccine shots, wear those masks, and stay safe out there. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.